We're up here for the 63rd Power Toboggan Championship in Beausejour, Manitoba. And other than racers, it takes a ton of volunteers and a ton of individuals to make this event happen. And it's always a pleasure to sit and hear some of the history that goes on with this great facility. And today I'm sitting here with Bruce Modrzejewski. Nice to meet you, Bruce.
As well. Nice to meet you too, Brent.
Yeah, we have not met before, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
No, you're native to Beausejour.
Yes, I am.
And you were telling us earlier that you started flooding this track at the age of
17.
17. So
the only reason I remember that's because I couldn't get to the hotel in between loads. We used to haul from the town of Beausejour. And we had a little 3-ton fuel truck. That's how we used to build the track back in the day.
And you knew you were 17 because?
I couldn't get in the hotel of a beer in between loads.
Some stuff just couldn't happen.
Yeah, I was thinking, how can I remember? There we go, yeah.
So based on how you look, that was only 4 years ago, is that right?
My what? Pardon?
You were 17, that was only like 4 years ago?
Seems that way.
Yeah.
Time goes really fast.
And you've transitioned from flooding the track to flagging. That's really what your history is here at the track, to be the flagman for a number of years?
Yes, that's correct.
And how many years were you flagging?
I think I was kind of looking at the list of champions, and I was going maybe around 87, 89, 87, 88, close in there.
And when was the last time you pulled the flag?
I think 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Okay. So you've seen a lot.
Yes, been a lot.
Yeah.
Been a lot of places.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of different things. Seen a lot of great drivers, a lot of great crews, a lot of great people working with. Worked with USSA, worked with WSA.
Yeah. So can you pick a memory? Can you pick a favorite memory? Can you pick something that comes up and goes, man, if there's one thing in my flagging career that I remember, it was this?
I think the Boswell series, that 18 twin trackers on the track at once, and they were bidding for $60,000 prize money. I think that's pretty well the highlight. But there's been a lot of different things too, the great. But that's about the highlight. 18, 3 rows of 6.
At the start. Wow.
They tried to do it driving around like IndyCar, but they wouldn't hold their position, so you had to stop the race and do it manually. Because Jerry Dusasoy was actually on the sled. He was driving a little too fast. Maybe everybody was trying to keep up with him. So we had to go dead stop. And actually that race went through without a red flag.
Wow. 15 laps?
That I have to
Hard to remember.
back.
Yeah.
It was over 20.
Wow. And no red flags?
Not a one.
Wow. What's your, how close have you ever been to getting clipped by a sled? Because, you guys like to get out there in the middle of the ice sometimes. And
I've been caught out in the middle of a track in the twin tracker days. When the tracks, I was going after Alan Decker. He always liked to go high, so I figured I'll go up there and I was going to flag him, get close and flag, and then I was on the way back, and there was 4 twin trackers coming at me, and I just kind of went, I ain't gonna make it, so I just stood there, and I just waved the checker flag, and they all went around me.
standing in the middle of the track.
Standing in the middle of the track. And then one time, I never turned my back at the starting line, because you never know what's coming at you.
Right.
So I was standing here one time, and it just doesn't look good. I have a guy that always helps me a little bit, Doug. So he was handing me flags, and I just kind of went to the inside. I grabbed Doug, and I just got, we better move. And I landed, and then sled landed right beside me, but boom, upside down. So that was kind of a close one.
Wow. Wow. Somebody actually sent me a message and said, when you talk to Bruce, ask him what he thinks is the best race he ever flagged. So other than the twin tracker, something with close finish, something that was, prestigious, that was out there, and something that you remember and that you'd kind of say was the best thing you'd ever done.
The saddest thing about being a flagman, you're not really watching the races. You're always watching the entire field, so you're not really paying attention. Only reason you pay attention the first, second, and third is to give the checker flag to the right person.
Right.
Because you're always watching all the players at all times to make sure they're all safe. So, but I think the best finish I've seen was when Nick Van Stuyden, I think he passed like 4 sleds to win the Eagle River Championship in the last 2 laps.
Mm.
That was pretty impressive. And he passed, I think, Matt Schultz in corner 4 at the last pass, and maybe ahead by 5-6 feet.
Wow. Wow, that's great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's when you started flagging, technology isn't what it is today.
Oh,
right? So, because now, somebody's in their ear and they're telling them there's 3 laps left, and you ever end up calling a race maybe a lap or two early or something because you lost count? Or?
Definitely, because you're always watching for accidents. You're kind of, okay, what lap was I on? But here we've come up with a system that there's a girl's counting down for us, which is really good. And I used to have a clicker, so I had to keep track of laps like myself, and but it's always that accident theory. You always get distracted, and you always, oh, where did that leader go? And yeah, I think I ran one late. Boswell's, no, it wasn't the Boswell series. It was a couple. But
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it does along the way. So, what do you miss about flagging? About not flagging? What do you miss about it?
I guess excitement. It's kind of a little bit of adrenaline rush. It's kind of, you're out there with the drivers. But the only thing bad about it, you're a flagman, you start the race. It's like being a hockey referee. How often do you pay attention to what the referees are doing? You're just flag, you start them, you let them go, and you take care of them, and you finish them off, and next group comes up.
Yeah, interesting. Do you think there's a place in the sport for automatic scoring and timing and that kind of stuff now that it's some of the racers say that they don't like the flagman because they can get a read on him, and some guys are better and they can get a better start, so they want to go to a light,
Like a Christmas tree, like NASCAR.
Yeah.
I think they did in drag racing.
They do.
That's perception, I guess. That's all what they want. That's what the drivers want.
Yeah,
That's
but
all.
what do you want? I can talk to the drivers any day of the week.
Yeah.
I think there's a human element that needs to stay in the sport.
Yeah, well, you have to, it's kind of a, do the dance. You have to make sure everybody's in line, make sure everybody's doing the right thing, and make sure everybody's safe. I always check everybody's bolts, I always check everybody's loops, I used to check everybody's stuff before I started. Take a quick look if somebody's nut was on the bolt, I put them to the side. But let them take a checker flag, take the start, of course, so they get the points.
Right.
Put them to the side. Just odd little things like that. You have to check them over, but they always forget something. Taillights, they forget to turn on half the time. They're always watching for something.
Yeah. What does this race mean to the town of Beausejour?
Lots. It's a huge draw for crowd. Like back in the 70s, like we used to all draw the Grey Cup. Like 25,000 people was back in the old days. Now but of course it's great for the town. You bring in people, you bring in, restaurants are busy. Everybody's busy. One year was so warm here, I think they sold all the rubber boots in the town of Beausejour because everybody didn't bring boots.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It just happens all the time. Racers know it yourself. They drive around, they use guys welding and stuff, and it just brings lots of business in town. It's good for the town.
Are you still active with the race here?
I'm in the grader.
Oh, are you?
I'm the groomer. I'm the guy shaving the track, getting the bumps off most of the time.
So you're the guy who's doing that?
Yeah, I'm the guy in the trader, yeah. They look at me, okay, you'll get those bumps off, and racers, one racer texted me like me last year, it's rough in corner for her. All right, go out there and cut the bumps off, and he says, thanks a lot, it was way better.
So should we put your cell phone number out on this so everybody knows how to get a hold of you?
No! 2 or 3 is fine.
Not an option.
I always went by how rough it was for the sweepers. And if the sweepers started bouncing around, I'd go and cut.
Right.
And you cut one way, then you cut backwards, so you get a crosshatch, and you kind of keep it as smooth as you possibly can.
Sure. There's a lot more science to this track stuff than people think, isn't there?
Oh, geez. It's always changing conditions, too.
Yeah.
Soft, warm, cold.
Yeah. Even here, I mean, it was warm this past week. It's cooler today.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold tonight. Sunday's going to be warm, so the track's going to be soft. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a number of different things. So.
I flagged from 40 below to getting rained on.
Gloves all the time, or were you barehanded?
Small gloves. No bare hands, no.
No. That's Ted Otto's thing was bare hands.
Yeah, that's Ted.
Yeah.
Had one in the field for the flag. He always told me. I said, oh, okay. But he had a million more hand warmers in his pocket, so.
Whatever works, right?
Whatever works.
Yeah. Bruce, you've been a great addition to the track here and a great part of the facility in Beausejour. We want to thank you for your history.
You're welcome.
And all the work that you do. So we're going to end with something called the FXR Fast 10, okay?
All right, let's have it.
You ready? Do you prefer to be indoors or outdoors?
Watching the races?
No, just in life. Indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors.
Would you rather eat burgers or tacos?
Burgers.
Johnny Cash or Elvis?
Johnny Cash.
Would you rather stay up late or wake up early?
Wake up early.
Do you prefer satellite TV or streaming services?
Satellite.
If you had your choice, would you rather have free will or know your destiny?
Free will.
You into movies at all? Do you like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, none of that kind of stuff? No?
Not really, no.
Okay. Big question, end of the day. Don't get this one wrong, okay? Reese's,
Okay.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup or Snickers?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
You and I can be
like
friends
peanut
now.
butter.
You and I can be friends.
Can't beat chocolate and peanut butter.
That's exactly right. Bruce, thanks for everything you do for the track and for the facility.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it. So
Thank you.
That's Bruce Modrzejewski, longtime volunteer, flagman, grader operator, water maker, does the whole ball of wax here at the CPTC.